I'm Andy Costello, co-owner of Venture Commercial Real Estate.
I am Shanna O'Brien with Cascadia Northwest Real Estate, and we are your broker brains here to talk about my least favorite subject in this business.
Money! It's my most favorite subject to talk about.
It just gives me the ick.
It is what gets me out of bed every day. When the alarm goes off and it's like, oh, I really don't want to go to the gym, and then I'm like, wait, it costs me $20 if I don't go, and I've already paid for the class. I will go for $20. It is so motivating to me.
I would like to live in a cash-free, barter-only society.
Oh, you would be very good at that.
That's what I would like to do.
Yes. So we're going to talk about three things today.
We're going to talk about, as self-employed people, which 99% of realtors are you planning for retirement? Do you have a nest egg of your living expenses? Should you hit, let's just say a really crappy downturn in the market?
And also making sure that you have a budget.
And a budget. I can't even say the B word.
Yeah.
It hurts. It hurts.
Yes.
We were talking about budget, and I said I run out of money and then I stop spending it because I don't have any more, and that's kind of my budget.
Yes. Well, let's talk about the budget first. So I think budgeting can be hard because we don't have consistent income, right? We might know that, like I know if I don't really have a big deal put together by September, I'm not going to get paid anything until at least January, because in commercial, that's just how long it takes. And so it's kind of like, okay, I look at what's on the board over the summer. If it's not happening, then, we'll have some little deals going on, but nothing major until, after the end of the year. So it can be hard to budget. I won't lie, because, our income is like so up and down.
Feast or famine.
Yep. But at the same time, you kind of know, like, okay, if my benchmark is, I know, consistently I've made six figures, or I've consistently made, 75K, then you kind of know that, like, if that's where you're at, then you should have your budget kind of based on what maybe the last couple of years consistently have told you.
Yeah, I see a lot of agents, and I've been this agent myself in the past when I did more client work. Check to check, like just waiting for the commission check to hit to pay for the things that you had to do to get that listing up and running. Like you put listing photos on your credit card, or you do a sign install on your credit card. So you've already spent money that you haven't earned because you don't have a budget or a nest egg set aside. Because this is one of the biggest, in my opinion, businesses that cost you money. Real estate costs you so much money up front. And with any other field, when somebody's like, oh, I got a new job, I only need 10K to get started. And you're like, oh, that doesn't sound like a job. It sounds like a scam, or maybe an MLM, I don't know. Real estate, you have got to have skin in the game from day one, or you're just not going anywhere.
Yeah. And actually, I think our skin in the game is less than if you were to open, like, say, a Subway franchise or something else. So, like, in terms of having not as much overhead because you can work from home, it's maybe not as much. But yes, you do have to spend money to make money. Always. That is for sure. So I think having a budget, understanding, paying yourself first, making sure you're setting money aside for retirement and your rainy day fund, so that if something were to happen, if you can't work, sometimes I think, like, whatever happens if I broke my right leg, right? Driving. I can't be Ubering to my appointments. I could, and I know it maybe would be what I'd have to do, but it'd be really tough.
And it'd be expensive.
Yes. So I think, really trying to make sure that you're, if you need long-term care insurance or, short-term care insurance or some type of supplemental income coming in, that you've got that set up, whether that's through Aflac or something else, but really understanding, what's going to happen if something happens, right? Yeah. So when you're ready to stop working, do you have money? And then how are you taking care of yourself day to day?
I remember asking my dad before he died, a few years before he died. My dad was in real estate his whole life, self-employed. And I said, do you have a retirement plan? And he said, yeah, I'll probably get old and stop working. And he was half joking. Yeah. But there was no money saved. There was nothing in savings for that.
And I think in real estate, we've got two different types of people that save for retirement. The ones that maybe are putting money away in a IRA or a 401k, and then the ones that are maybe putting all their money into real estate investments that maybe are not cash in the bank right now, but by the time they're ready to retire, they're maybe ready to sell those or downsize or invest them in some other way. So there's kind of two different ends of the spectrum.
Well, yeah, they've got some, I don't want to say what is cash that's not liquid?
Oh, illiquid? I don't know.
Solid.
Yes.
If it's real money and it's there, but it's not liquid, it's
Yes.
solid.
Well, it's just tied up so that, it's going to take you a little longer to access those funds. Right.
Inaccessible in the short term.
Correct.
But I mean, I always think real estate's like such a good investment. Almost in any market, you're never going to really lose money on. I always tell my investor clients, like, there's never been a bad time to be a landlord in Clark County.
Yeah, very
Always.
true. I mean,
and Portland metro area. There's never a time when you cannot fill a rental.
Right. Yeah, I've always been bullish on real estate before I even started working in the business.
Yeah.
I thought of it as a long-term investment. If I could buy something at 25 and then have my tenants pay for it for the rest of the life, by the time I'm ready to retire, it's paid for, and it's just easy cash in the bank. So, yeah, I've always thought that it was a good investment even before I started working in there.
It is a good investment, but it's not as easy as she just made it sound. Because being a landlord has its own set of complications.
Yes, which we can talk about in a future episode because I think we both have experience with that. But yeah, so I think having a budget, saving for retirement is really important. And then really also making sure you have that rainy day fund. When the market shifted a little over 18 months ago, I think people were, maybe kind of caught a little unawares, especially if you were newer in the business and, didn't have a long list of prospects or, interested people to be calling or didn't have a strong prospecting plan. I think people were just like, whoa, okay, it's not as easy now to just.
I need to get a job.
Yes.
I have a lot of people who've said, I need to get a job. And if you do, you do.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have to have income, if you haven't set aside, how are you covering your rent or your mortgage? How are you paying your bills if you don't have a commission check coming for, let's say, 6 months?
Yeah.
Scary.
And on my side of the business, I mean, I tell people if you want to come work in commercial real estate, you need to have like at least 6 to 12 months of money saved up because it will be a long time till you either close something, and then once you close it, especially if it's a lease, you're waiting on the landlord to cut the check to the other agent, who's then going to cut a check to the brokerage, who's going to cut a check to you. So, it could be, I've waited 6 months for a lease check. Yeah. So you still really can't count on like, I got that tenant in there fast, I'm going to get money. It doesn't always work out that way.
Yeah, we were kind of talking earlier about when different people celebrate. And some people celebrate, hey, I'm writing an offer.
Yes.
Like, good for you. Yeah, I've done that lots of times.
And I don't ever celebrate
make a dime.
until the check clears my bank account. Then I'm excited.
That's when it's done.
Yes. So, it's those little surges of adrenaline though are good. It's like, okay, well, writing an offer on your listing is better than not having a buyer. So like, yes, it's like momentum and you need that to happen in order to get the check. But I really don't celebrate until the check clears my bank account. And I'm like, yes, the money's in the account.
Yeah. And I've been in a position where I've had agents come to me and they're like, I've got a listing lead. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait. Can I do a commission advance to do photos? I mean, like they've really like let their business, there's no money in the business for making more money. And that's a really hard place to be. And there is a company that does commission advances if you have a side listing, and the fees are astronomical.
Yeah, I'm sure that they're usually like kind of like a payday loan type place. Yeah.
I mean, and
that doesn't surprise me.
That is something that I see a lot of agents having to pull from, and
that's tough.
It's tough, and you hate to see it, but I'm not going to be the bank either. I mean, I'm trying to keep a brokerage solvent.
Yes. Yeah. Not something I would support either.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, we certainly can always talk more about money, my favorite subject, her not so favorite subject.
No.
But we appreciate you joining us this week. Please put your thoughts, questions in the comments.
And tell us what your great budgeting tips are. What are you doing that's helping your business stay solvent?
Yes, we would love to hear about that, and maybe we'll do a future episode on it. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching and joining us this week. Take care of yourself, and if you can, someone else too. We'll see you soon.
Bye.